Hey guys, so my name is Kimberly Sakamoto and I'm going to be teaching you guys all about basketball because basketball is my passion. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So this is basketball for beginners basically. So basketball and me. Yes, that is me. That is like a 5 or 6 year old me. And down below is a high school version of me with my robotic leg, because I tore my PCL. I've torn a lot of things in my knees throughout the years, but it doesn't stop me. So I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I think from 5 to around like the ending of middle school, my dad was my coach. I know he's my coach, but I'm not sure when he stopped coaching. But he was my coach, and he was very, very passionate about teaching younger kids about basketball. He was in love with the sport, and I feel like that's where I get my passion for basketball from. So I played for my elementary school from 4th grade to 6th grade, which was Queen Liliuokalani Elementary, and then I went to Kaimuki Middle. Almost didn't play, but my PE teacher convinced me, so I played 7th and 8th grade year. And then I went to Kalani High School. I played JV my freshman year, and then I was on varsity for sophomore, junior, and senior. I decided to join a outside like club basketball team called Ikaika, and this team had made me so much better than I was. It made me faster, it made me stronger, it made me smarter. Not even just for basketball, it just impacted me a lot throughout the years and gave me a lot more practice. So on to the real stuff. So this is the first thing that I learned to do. This is called triple threat. Triple threat is basically a idea. So there's 3 parts to it because it's triple. So this is the first thing you should do when you get the ball. When you get the ball, first thing you should do is shoot. You should shoot the ball. If you're open, you need to shoot the ball before the defender comes. So shooting is pretty simple. You've all seen people shoot a basketball here or there once in your life. So here on the right hand side is Michael Jordan, and he is in his shooting form. So that is actually a very perfect shooting form he has. So the ball is in his dominant hand, which is his right hand. His arm is at a 90-degree angle, and his elbow is facing towards the basket. And then his left hand is called his guiding hand. So his guiding hand basically helps him get from like picking up his dribble or catching a pass to his form all the way up here, so the ball doesn't fall off his hand. And right after this picture was taken, he took off his left hand and he shot the ball. So shooting the ball, he used his legs. Your legs are very important in shooting. That's where all your power comes from. So he used his legs, went all the way up to his arm, and then he flicked his wrist and he let the ball go. So after shooting, if you cannot shoot the ball, next thing you think of doing is dribbling. Dribbling is amazing because it can get you from point A to point B, or anywhere basically on the court. And the only thing is that you only have 1 try to dribble, because every time you get the ball, you can't dribble it twice without picking it up. So dribbling, the main thing is that you do not dribble with your entire hand. You only dribble with the tips of your fingers. When you dribble with the tips of your fingers, you have much more control with the ball, and also it's hard to dribble with your palm. So lastly is passing. Passing is also very important. Passing is how you get the ball to your teammates. So there's 2 types of passing. Well, there's more than 2, but there's 2 main types that I like to use, which is one is called a chest pass. So That's basically you passing the ball to your teammate's chest. That's the area you're aiming for. And then there's also a bounce pass, which means you bounce the ball towards your teammate and the ball will get to them. And this is basically like measuring the distance between you guys. I'd say 2/3 of the way between the distance of you and your teammate. That's where the ball should bounce. But the main point for passing is that you need to step into your pass. Like I said earlier, strength comes from your legs. So if you step into your pass, there will be more strength behind the ball, and it'll get there quicker and it'll be harder to steal. So rules for basketball. First rule, traveling or walking. So when you travel or you walk, that is basically you holding the ball in your hands and you're just walking around and running around without dribbling. In basketball, you have to dribble if you're moving with the ball. So that would be a turnover. The second one is a double dribble. So double dribble would be if you dribble the ball and you pick it up and then you dribble again. You're not allowed to dribble 2 times. Like I said earlier, you're only allowed to dribble 1 time every time you get the ball. So a shot clock is only in college and NBA. So here on the right is a picture of a shot clock, and the 10 minutes above is basically the time left in the quarter or half or whatever, and the number below, the big 24 in red, is the shot clock. So the shot clock will be counting down. That's how much time you have to shoot the ball for that possession. If you don't shoot it in time, then you lose the ball. Timeouts are called by coaches, rarely called by players, but sometimes they are. This is basically to stop the clock, which is the time on the top, the 10 minutes, and talk to your teammates, talk to your coach. So, more rules. I know, there's a lot of rules in here, but they're all necessary. So jump ball is when one offensive player and one defensive player is hanging onto the ball at the same time. So this referee to the right hand side is calling a jump ball. That's the sign for a jump ball, 2 thumbs up. So backcourt violation is quite hard to explain without you guys knowing what a backcourt is. So I'll explain that to you guys a little bit later. So moving on to fouls. So fouls is basically like when somebody hits your arm while you're dribbling a ball. That's a foul. Like basketball is a contact sport, but there needs to be lines drawn to protect the players. So that's why there's fouls. So usually when you're fouled, you get free throws. So a personal foul, this is you giving out a foul to someone. This is you accidentally hitting somebody's arm or body or something. That's a personal foul. You get 5 of these per game. After 5, you have to sit out for the rest of the game. In NBA, it's 6 for I'm not sure what reason, but it's 6. So reasons why you would get called for a personal foul would be blocking, which is you using your body to block the way of the offensive player that you're guarding. Second is hand check. So that's when you're guarding the person and then you use your hand and you kind of bump them with your hand and push them away with your hand. That's called a hand check. Reaching is basically like you're reaching into their bubble, their personal space, and you're hitting them too, so that's reaching. These are different types of fouls. Intentional/flagrant foul. Intentional foul means that you had an intent to foul them. That means you did it on purpose. These are very dangerous fouls. These sometimes happen when players get mad and they just lose control and they start pushing people out of the way. I've had it happen to me. It's very painful, but the refs do call it. So intentional is like you had an intent. Flagrant is like a violent foul. So you basically get 2 free throws and the ball back to you if this is called. A technical foul is something that makes me angry. Technical fouls have nothing to do with basketball at all. Technical fouls are a player talking bad to the ref, or talking smack to like another player, like the other team or something, and they won't stop. Or if they actually get into a physical fight, that's a technical foul, and they're ejected, obviously, for safety reasons. But technical fouls can also be on coaches. Coaches get pretty crazy, especially as you move up in age. Coaches get nuts. So coaches can get technical fouls. If they get too many technical fouls and the ref gets tired of it, they can kick the coaches out. So that's never good. Next up is court boundaries. So these are all the little lines in the court that you see. Just didn't really know what they were, but the baseline is basically the barrier that tells you if you're inbounds or out of bounds. So that's like all the way at the top and all the way at the bottom here, and those are going horizontally and they're parallel to each other. Next one would be the key or the paint, which is the little rectangle looking thing. It's salmon colored, but that's the key or the paint. If you're on offense and you stay in the key for 3 or more seconds, then you will be called for a 3-second violation and you'll turn over the ball. 3-point arc is basically those huge arcs on each side of the court. They're kind of tan colored, but that differs whether it's a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer. The sidelines are kind of like the baselines. They're like the sisters of baselines. So they're on the sides, going vertically up and down in that picture, and basically determines if you're inbounds or out of bounds. A free throw is basically the top of the key or the paint. So top of that's where you shoot your free throws. If you get fouled shooting the ball, that's where you shoot your free throws. And then the half-court line. I learned it as half-court line. In the picture it says mid-court line. It doesn't really matter. Same meaning. So that's the line separating the court directly in half. So like I told you earlier, I was saying about backcourt violation. So basically, if I'm bringing the ball up from the baseline, where it says baseline on the top, and I'm bringing it to the other side of the court, I'm going to be dribbling it down. I have 10 seconds to get from this baseline to the midcourt line, or else I'll be called for a 10-second violation, and the ball will be given to the other team. After that, once I pass the midcourt line, there is no going back. That is it. Sealed deal. You cannot go back. If you do, that's a backcourt violation. So once you pass it, the only area of play that you have is right in front of you, basically. Right in front of that midcourt line. That's all you can use. Offense. So offense is when you have the ball. Your team has the ball. So this is a picture of an offensive setup, which is a 3-out, 2-in set. But other coaches use different sets, like a 2-1-2 or a 2-3. It really depends on your coach. So there's different positions. So number 1 is the point guard. Point guard brings down the ball. That's what I was. I was a point guard, and also I was a shooting guard, depending. But shooting guards are basically there for shooting and being quick. So shooting guard would be 2 and 3 in the picture. Forwards is 4 and 5. Those are technically bigger people, bigger, stronger people. They have post moves that they can use. They're closer to the basket. They're not used to like shooting far away usually. So like the 1, 2, and 3 would be a lot smaller than the 4s and 5s. Smaller and quicker. So the point system is that anything inside the 3-point line is a 2-pointer. So you get 2 points every basket they make inside. Outside of that, everything is 3 points. No matter where you shoot it, no matter if it's like from the other side of the court, it's still 3 points. And free throws are only worth 1 point. That's why you get 2 every time you're fouled, so you can get up to 2 points. So defense, this is when you are guarding the other team that has the ball and you're trying to get it back. So I have a diagram here, and that explains what one of the defenses are. But before we get to that, the defensive stance is what defense is based off of. It's very important to have a defensive stance, because in this stance you're able to move as quick as you can. It allows you to cut off the person you're guarding and even get some steals. So defensive stance is basically, well, imagine yourself standing straight up and down. Now put your arms out, and then you need to spread your legs about a little more than shoulder width apart, and then sit down like you're sitting in a chair. That's your defensive stance. Because you're so low and sturdy, it's hard to get past you. It makes it hard to get past you. And since your arms are out, they're moving around, they're active, they can steal the ball easily. So first type of defense is called a man-to-man, and that's the most popular, I'd say, because you only have to focus on one person. So say my coach throws me in the game and he's like, oh, you got number 14. I'll say, okay, I need to watch number 14 the whole time I'm in there on defense. So like wherever he goes on the court, I must follow. I'm like a shadow. Or like my coach said, white on rice. So the second type of defense is called a zone, which is what this picture is. So the guards, which is 1 and 2 in this picture, will have the top left and right sections or zones to defend. They don't guard anyone specific, just their zone. And then center has the whole key to take care of, and the forwards 3 and 4 have like the outside lower wings to take care of, and also helping out with the center. So that's it. That is the end of my slideshow. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new about basketball and you're excited and pumped like I am. Okay, see you guys later.